It's day 24 of the month of October in the year 2025. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning News. And this bulletin, of course, is coming to you live from the news app here at the Sarikanda. We're live on Facebook. It's TV3 Ghana. And on DSTV, it's channel 279. My name is George Queenan. Coming up this morning. Tributes continue to pour in for former First Lady Nana Konadu-Agyeman-Rawlings, who died Thursday morning in Accra. President John Dramani Mahama cautions newly sworn-in judges against needless adjournment and delays in the prosecution of cases. Also coming up this morning, 63 minority members of parliament declares open support for New Patriotic Party's 2024 flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Well, we have details of these stories and many more coming up in the next 20 minutes if you spend your time with me. Remember, you can also get interactive with us. We're live on Facebook. It's TV3 Ghana. Let's begin from this very sad note. Ghana is mourning the death of its longest-serving First Lady, Nana Konadu-Agyeman-Rawlings, who has died at the age of 76. She served as the First Lady during both the military and civilian administrations. Here is a brief profile of the late Nana Konadu-Agyeman-Rawlings.
Nana Konadu-Agyeman-Rawlings was born on November 17, 1948 in Cape Coast. She received her early education at Ghana International School and later at Achimota School. She pursued higher education at the University of Science and Technology, studying arts and textiles, before earning a diploma in interior design from the London College of Arts in 1975. Nana Konadu-Agyeman-Rawlings served as First Lady of Ghana, spanning both the military and civilian administrations of her husband, the late Jerry John Rawlings. She first served as First Lady during the Armed Forces Revolutionary Council reign from June 4 to September 24. Then again during the Provisional National Defense Council, a military government that ruled Ghana from December 31, 1981 to January 6, 1993. After her husband won the first and second democratic polls in the Fourth Republic, she also served as the First Lady from January 7, 1993 to January 6, 2001. Nana Konadu-Agyeman-Rawlings founded and led the 31st December Women's Movement in 1982. The movement empowered women socially, politically, and economically. In 2009, she was elected first vice chairperson of the National Democratic Congress, NDC. She made history in 2016 as the first woman to contest Ghana's presidency, running on the ticket of the National Democratic Party, NDP, which she founded after leaving the NDC.
Well, may her soul rest in perfect peace. Let's insist on this very development. After formally informing President John Dramani Mahama about the passing of the former First Lady, the family head spoke to the media yesterday and said Her Excellency Nana Konadu-Agyeman-Rawlings felt unwell and was subsequently admitted to the Rich Hospital. Unfortunately, she passed away. His Excellency, the President was duly informed and was His Majesty Otumfuo Osei II. The President has directed that an official statement be issued confirming the passing of Her Excellency Nana Konadu-Agyeman-Rawlings. At this stage, the family is in deep mourning and we kindly crave your indulgence to grant us some privacy. All further notices will be communicated by the government. Statement was signed by Oheneba Akwesi Abeye, envoy from Minshaw Palace and family head. Well, we pitch campaign at the residence of the late First Lady and bring you updates in our subsequent bulletin. So keep watching TV3 in that regard. And now, Parliament was forced to adjourn sitting on Thursday following the death of former First Lady Nana Konadu-Agyeman-Rawlings, whose daughter is a current member of the House. The second Deputy Speaker, as well as the Deputy Majority Leader and other MPs expressed shock and condolences. Christian Yale reports.
A statement that was to be taken on Thursday was deferred to Friday, and with only few papers laid, the House adjourned suddenly when the news broke about the death of former First Lady Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. Members of Parliament from both divides have expressed shock.
We didn't have a confirmation then, but we heard that there were some health issues, coma or something like that. So we were just there, and then the information came that this is what has happened. So we are actually in shock and trying to absorb the news. We didn't know that our mom was actually not well. In fact, I think we've seen her recently in various functions, and she looked fit, as she's always been. What informed us closing from the chamber is to be able to have the opportunity to absorb the story in full and know what we have to do, and do some mobilization and see what will be the appropriate time for us to pay a visit.
Very shocking, very tragic, but it's part of life. Nobody expected. So we can only pray that the soul will get a restful place in the bosom of the Lord. And we also pray for strength for the children. It's something that should always tell us that this world, we are all passing. We are all passing. When you are not expecting, that's the time you'll be called by your maker. So we all have to prepare, because other than that, there's nothing that one can say.
There are some, like the Member of Parliament for Guan, Fred Agbenyon, who believe that she deserves a state burial.
She has played her role. When we talk about the Fourth Republic, I don't think that we can write the history of the Fourth Republic without the name of Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, especially the National Democratic Congress and even the PNDC. We know the role that she played when it came to mobilization of women in particular, conscientizing women and getting them to get actively involved in our politics. I believe that she deserves a state burial. I believe that we need to give her a befitting burial that she rightfully deserves.
She has single-handedly contributed to the development and expansion of the frontiers of gender politics in this country as a First Lady, but also as somebody who single-handedly became a flag bearer of political parties. So I think she has made that kind of exposure, breaking the barriers and the glass ceilings in our politics. So I think we'll celebrate her for leading the way.
It tells you that life is short. Today we are here, tomorrow we are not. So there's no need for hate, there's no need for struggles. You just have to love and then take it easy. Because for this year, I think we've lost lots of people from this parliament and young ones outside, even from the constituencies and national and all that. So I think we should all take life easy and then love each other, because you don't know what tomorrow will bring.
It is a profound loss. Members of Parliament say they would continue to condole with the family, especially one of their very own, the Member of Parliament for Kwale Klote, Dr. Zaneto Agyeman-Rawlings, whose mother has tragically passed on. Christian Yale, TV3 News, Parliament.
You can pour in your tributes to tv3.gh on Facebook, and we'll surely read them and share them to the rest of the world. And our traders at the 31st December Women's Market have eulogized the late former First Lady as an advocate for women. They told my colleague Grace Agyeman that, but for the establishment of the market, many women would have struggled to find a safe and dignified space to earn a living.
The 31st December Women's Market, established by the former First Lady, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, among other things, provided women traders with litigation-free market spaces and capital to financially empower women. The traders here were clad in black and red to mourn the founder of the market. They tell me the establishment of the market has contributed to financially empower most of them.
We had the news that our mother, Konadu, just kicked the bucket, and we couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. And in fact, I just don't know, because she built the market. She built this market that we're selling. I don't know.
Yeah, because mama no mo be the market si e di si wo e na ye so ye nyemu atena enti ya say mama no efi
no wo fo Gwedra wa kale na 31st ne. Wo yo mi. 31st wo yo mi. Industry na fe 31st ne. Still a machine. Ka clinic na fe. Wo ya jo lololo.
O stronguma. O stronguma. O kuma me ema. Nti o stronguma. Me man rest in peace. Ya me fanicha be pa. O yesu dem.
Bra no ne ne kun ye adwuma no oboa ne kun. Na no aso di ne nim de ne na adwene aye adwuma. E man na nchirima nya so mfaso.
President of the Greater Accra Markets, Mercy Jan, eulogized her as a champion for women's independence.
We became very bold. You are ever ready because we like a cockle ibanye chebo at any time ni owie no se hu efia he ni jobanye ya ne ba hie e ba wabo ko ni o ha shejeme aka at China this year. China 30 years ago Nana Kura do 31st committee China Beijing conference ni ya represent Ghana Jalaye.
The market has a school and clinic to cater to the health and educational needs of the market women and their children. For most of these women, Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rawlings' advocacy for women's empowerment, both in the informal and formal sector, has had a great impact on their lives. And for that, they'll forever remember her. Grace Hamo Ajiman, TV3 News, 31st December Women's Market, Accra.
Away from issues relating to the death of the former First Lady, President John Dramani Mahama has affirmed his unwavering willingness to defend judicial independence at all material times. Speaking at the swearing-in ceremony of 37 new High Court judges, the President cautioned against needless adjournment and delays in the adjudication of cases.
As President, I wish to reaffirm my government's unwavering commitment to defending judicial independence. Yet with that freedom comes the sacred duty to uphold ethical discipline and professional excellence. The measure of our national greatness lies in how we treat our weakest citizens. Justice thrives when the bench and the bar act not as adversaries, but as partners in the pursuit of the truth. I urge members of the bar to honor their duty as officers of the court, to assist the bench, not frustrate it, to seek justice, not merely score victory. Let us end the culture of needless adjournments and delays. Let us embrace efficiency and digital transformation of our courts. For as the saying goes, when lawyers play with time, justice becomes a casualty. Let the High Court be both the temple of the law and the house of humanity. Behind every writ and affidavit is a human story of loss of hope, of survival, a dismissed teacher, a family displaced, a young person wrongfully accused. In each of these cases, the judge is the final line between despair and dignity.
In more news this morning, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, has commissioned the Upper East Regional Passport Application Center in Boga, Tanga. The commissioning forms part of efforts to decentralize access to Ghanaian passports across the country.
The Passport Application Center will serve the people of the Upper East and Northeast regions. Until now, residents who needed passports had to travel to Tamale or Accra to apply for an international passport. The Alangugube Association, based on the region and with members across the globe, took the initiative to solicit funds for the establishment of the center for the government to take over. Gabriel Agambila is the founder of the Alangugube Association.
I wish we had the before and after of this place so that people will see how we transformed this place from a garage to a passport office. We want to thank our regional minister. He has stood solidly behind us in this journey.
The Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, thanked the people of the region for their financial contributions towards the renovation of the facility into a passport application center.
I am happy that all of us have worked as a team, as patriots, to deliver this passport application center. Today, as we make history, we are sending a very clear statement that development must be inclusive. Development must not be centered only in certain areas of our country. What also excites us about today's ceremony is that it is a testament of teamwork. There is total community ownership.
Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa said the acquisition of a passport is a civic right for every Ghanaian, hence the need to decentralize the passport application process.
And now drama unfolded at the Accra High Court after aggrieved lawyers for the former National Signals Bureau director, led by Samuel Atachia, staged a walkout in court yesterday because the trial judge refused to grant their plea for adjournment. Lord Idwasari has more.
On Thursday, October 23, lead counsel Samuel Atachia notified the court of filing an application at the Supreme Court to prohibit Justice Eugene Nyodu-Nyante from further hearing the case, citing alleged bias. He prayed for an adjournment of the case pending the determination of the matter at the Apex Court, but prosecution led by Principal State Attorney A.C. Dental Yanka urged the court to dismiss the application. She noted that the mere filing of an application at the Supreme Court should not warrant a stay of proceedings and an automatic adjournment. The presiding judge, after hearing both counsel, agreed with the prosecution and refused the prayer for adjournment. He then ordered the prosecution's second witness to mount the witness box and continue with her submissions. But even before that could take place, lead counsel Samuel Atachia sought leave from the court and departed with his entourage of lawyers. He expressed disappointment at the development in court.
The case is just, let's took it to the Supreme Court. The judge is saying no, he will grant us the adjournment and that he is ready to continue the case. As to why the judge is in an ambulance that he continue the case, I cannot wait for the Supreme Court for 1 week. It is mad to me, exactly. And I'm caught between the rock and the hard place. How? The ambivalence that you want to disqualify a judge from hearing the case and you sitting to continue the case. I cannot answer in this record, so I need to leave the chamber.
In the absence of the defense lawyers, the presiding judge ordered Kwabena Edubuahin to call his lawyers back to the court or represent himself, after which the court went on a brief recess. After failing to contact his lawyer, the former National Signals Bureau director pleaded with the court for an adjournment. The trial judge then adjourned the case to October 30 for continuation. Lord Idwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
Well, if you just tuned in, you're watching the morning news, the first bulletin of the day on TV3. In more news this morning, 63 out of the 87 members of parliament on the minority caucus have declared open support for New Patriotic Party's 2024 flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. According to them, Dr. Bawumia deserves a second chance and has proven to be the potent leader the party deserves.
Over 60 members of parliament, in fact it's 63 precisely, out of the 87 minority members in parliament, stand together in unity and conviction to make this clarion call. We declare our total and unwavering support for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as the next flag bearer of our great party. We make this declaration not out of sentiment, but from deep conviction. We have seen his work, his discipline, his resilience, and his readiness to serve. We believe that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia embodies the next chapter of the MPP's vision, a future built on competence, innovation, unity, and hope. We affirm that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is not just the candidate who can unite our party. He is the leader who can win the confidence of Ghanaian people and secure victory for the MPP in 2028 and beyond. This is our moment to make history once again. Let us reward loyalty, humility, and hard work with trust. Let us renew the NPP tradition with a leader who represents continuity and innovation. Let us choose the man who has walked the path, carried the burden, and delivered results. Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia is our choice, the people's choice, the party's strength, and Ghana's future. He carries Danko's courage, Buzia's intellect, and Dombo's humility and unifying heart. With him, the NPP will not only win, but will lead Ghana into an era of progress, opportunities, and national pride. Kokwam Pretu Sapon MP Mampon. Nana Ayew Afriye Afija Asokore. Kofi Amankwa Menu Atwuma Kwamoma. Kwame Yayi Maduanchi Asante Achim Central. Francis Asentu Bwanche Bantama. Vincent Eko Asefua Old Tafo. Yao Frempon Ado. Manso Adubia. Mavis Nkansa Bodu. Afija Sechere East. Collins Adumaku Mensa, Afija Kwabre North, Dr. Patrick Bwachi Yado.
The MPP flag bearership election is slated for next year, January, and so with us, you will never miss any update. And on that note, we end the morning news. For more news updates, just log on to our website, s3news.com. Alternatively, you can join my colleagues Kebini Amano and Mawinek Beta on News Central at 12. Thanks for watching. In a world where you can be anything, just be kind. It costs nothing to be kind. Good morning.
And that's music by Wiala Wayaya. It's a rendition of Osibise's popular song, Wayaya. A song to mark the story of our lives, that we're all on a journey which will terminate one day. And this journey is one that only our Father up in heaven knows completely about. Good morning and welcome to TV3 Newday. This morning we start off the show remembering and mourning with the family of former First Lady, the First Lady of the Fourth Republic, longest serving First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Kunedu Agyeman-Rawlings. And we heard the news yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was a big surprise to everybody, especially because we have seen her well and happy in public very recently.
Yeah, at the funeral of the mother of the Otumfo, 82 years, Asante Hima, you will call her, yes. So, yeah, well, the sister. I mean the sister, yes, but yes, the Queen Mother. Yeah, I mean, I heard it yesterday on my way out of the office in the afternoon, was just stepping out, and then I was in the car with my colleague, and he said, oh no, this guy, where does he get the breaking news from? And indeed, we realized that it was true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a bigger shock to me because I had just called her the day before.
You spoke to her the day before?
I didn't speak to her. I had called her.
Okay.
Because I hadn't spoken to her in a while. So I just felt, oh, let me just call. And if I showed you my call log, exactly 6 p.m. And normally when she misses my call, she will call me back. But she didn't call back. But I said, okay, maybe she's busy. I'll call back another day. And then less than 24 hours later, I hear that she's dead.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So, I mean, great woman, really. And before we even came on air, you were talking about when you used to watch her from afar. Yeah. So it wasn't just me who watched her from afar. Those times when GBC used to be the station that all of us would watch, you would, you're talking about when Rawlings and the wife were on. I was very tiny, but I remember her, how she would dress, and she still kept that dress in, the headgear. The signature, yes.
And the throw piece, the third piece she always put across her shoulders.
Yes, and I remember I used to admire her from afar until kind of started getting close when she formed the NDP, became the first woman, and well, the journey has been on until, or had been on until yesterday. Yeah. So.
Very tough, very tough. The thing that stood out for me when I heard the news is that no matter how many times death happens, it just gives me the same reaction always. You know, always reacting that, I mean, did we not see her not too long ago? But it's happened so many times. We see people and you don't see anything wrong with them, and all of a sudden the next thing you hear, they are gone. And we still have the same feeling of pain, surprise, wanting to understand why she's gone, and you struggle around it. Yesterday, I watched the family, her daughters, one of the daughters. If you watch that press conference, the one who was sitting on the far right, I mean, she was basically broken. You could see clearly that she was struggling and had to be consoled. It's a very painful, and I feel, you know, such moments, I feel very hurt and sad, particularly for the family, because unfortunately for them, the figure that she is and what she represents, it is a pain that they are not sharing alone. And so it is in their faces. You wake up in the morning, this morning, you turn on the television and they are talking about your mom. And they are talking about your mom in a manner that it's like she doesn't, it's not just your pain, but you feel the pain directly. These are children who, for more than 20 years of their lives, they've woken up knowing that she's there. She's the one who gave them life. She's the one who took care of them. And they have to have it in their faces for as long as it can be. I mean, it's just so painful. I just feel so sad.
And it's even just the beginning, really.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of the discussions that are going to be had every day.
And you know, the 5th anniversary celebration of the passing of their father is just in a few weeks.
Actually, 12th of November.
Yeah, it's in November.
Yes, 12th of
just
November.
In a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then now they've lost their mother.
Yeah.
So it must be very difficult for them. I mean, this woman has been a representation of women empowerment for Ghanaian women and women across the world for many years. I remember as a child, when I did not understand politics, the place of women, so to speak, in national politics and so on. Even then, when I saw her, I knew that she was a powerful woman.
Yeah.
I knew that she was the embodiment of women empowerment. Even as a child, when I really did not understand these things. I remember watching by the fireside, and at the end, you know, there's the end credit. And when the end credit rolls, they write 31st December Women's Movement.
Exactly.
I got interested in that and asked my mother about it. And she explained the 31st December Women's Movement to me. My mother is a Makola woman. So she's a market woman. She's a trader in the market. And she explained Nana Akunedu's intervention, empowering women to work and bring the children, you know, to work, because you mustn't let the fact that you've had children deter you from working hard and being economically empowered. And so she actually established a nursery in the market for the women so they could come to work, care for their children, not abandon their children, but care for them and still work and make money and be empowered. And I think one thing we cannot take away from her is how she made the possibilities of women in politics glaring for us. You know, she was the first lady. She was so visible. And you could see that she was not just the wife of the president, so to speak, but she was a major contributor to national politics. And even out of office, she still represented that for a lot of us. And I actually, when I heard the story of her passing yesterday, it was then that I actually thought about all the thoughts.
You begin to have all these reflections.
I've had about her since I was
I mean, she's
a young girl.
I would describe her as a woman of conviction, and I would explain that by simply just looking at her own political trajectory. I mean, this is a woman who was part of the birthing of the NDC. I mean, she leaves the party. Her husband remains in the party. She forms her own political party. The daughter remains in joins the NDC actually, remains in the NDC and enters parliament on the ticket of the NDC, and she remains a non-member of the NDC till she exits. I mean, she never wavered in her views. She never moved an inch, and that has been a reflection of her life over the period. And for so many years, she was always that woman figure. I mean, if it's modern day and people would be calling themselves a feminist, one would argue that she's the first feminist we all remember noticing.
Indeed. And her understanding of really the journey of becoming a woman as well. Because I remember in an interview that she granted, that's some years ago, she said that before she got married to the late former President Rawlings, the parents, and you know she came from a royal family, the parents told her that if you want to go to school, we'll support you to go to school. But if you want to get married, you can go ahead and get married. But the essence of that story she told was the importance of education, the importance of empowering yourself as a young girl so that you're able to move forward in life. And I mean, you could tell in her utterances and her understanding of girls and getting into womanhood and all of that. So really the country has lost an icon,
All right, so I suppose this morning we invite you to share with us your thoughts, your memories about our former First Lady, the late Nana Akunedu Agyeman Rawlings, and what she represented to you as a person. You can let us know. We'll activate the phone lines in a moment. And then soon after that, we have big issues. Blair, what are we discussing?
Definitely, we'll touch on the former First Lady. We'll discuss it. We'll look at her achievements in the political space, what she represented, and what her death means, the lessons that we have to draw from her life, and the next steps afterwards. Then beyond that, we'll also touch on the issues surrounding the New Patriotic Party. We know that 63 members of parliament have endorsed one aspirant seeking to lead the party into the 2028 general elections. We'll talk about that, how that affects party dynamics. We'll follow closely, looking at the MPs who have not endorsed him, and whether that is a sign that they are supporting other candidates, or just for the sake of party unity and leadership issues. That is how come they've taken that step. So that would engage our attention on big issue.
And then we also have sports. Today we have an exclusive with the GFA president on the show. So we do have a packed day for you, solemn and sad as it might be. We invite you to be a part of our conversations on the show today with the hashtag TV3 Newday across platforms. You can connect with us, especially on our Facebook live stream. But now we invite you to call us, and we're talking about the life of the former First Lady, Nana Akufo-Addo. It's time for This Morning.
Nana Akufo-Addo was born on November 17, 1948 in Cape Coast. She received her early education at Ghana International School and later at Achimota School. She pursued higher education at the University of Science and Technology, studying arts and textiles, before earning a diploma in interior design from the London College of Arts in 1975. Nana Akufo-Addo served as First Lady of Ghana, spanning both the military and civilian administrations of her husband, the late Jerry John Rawlings. She first served as First Lady during the Armed Forces Revolutionary Council reign from June 4 to September 24. Then again during the Provisional National Defense Council, a military government that ruled Ghana from December 31, 1981 to January 6, 1993. After her husband won the first and second Democratic polls in the Fourth Republic, she also served as the First Lady from January 7, 1993 to January 6, 2001. Nana Akufo-Addo founded and led the 31st December Women's Movement in 1982. The movement empowered women socially, politically, and economically. In 2009, she was elected first vice chairperson of the National Democratic Congress, NDC. She made history in 2016 as the first woman to contest Ghana's presidency, running on the ticket of the National Democratic Party, NDP, which she founded after leaving the NDC.
Just a bit of profile of the late former First Lady, Nana Akufo-Addo. And of course, like Na said, throughout the program, we'll be telling you about her. But let's go to our first caller, Lawrence. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us where you're calling us from and your own thoughts today.
Good morning. I'm calling from Western Region in Crawford. This morning, I would like to speak to you so that I can flow very well.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Don't forget to say, your manager, the deal, and I know I can't happen, but I mean, the media, your money. Mammy, you in your back to the crowd, I will listen. Mammy, you that mammy, dear, or one could go bar, your car or bar, or one could go out with Janet Nicola. Then I have the new any or bar one to go. The kind of morality 1979 or yes, Kura or bar. Now, I'm out for a trouble. Now, you trouble. The country is or bad temper or Ghana, Mamu, or bad women who have been attention. Ama, if you grab one, there. Sana Obani, nothing, let's say, Mammy, or one could go by the car or bar, or one could draw. What you make very quirky, I'm one who I'm many gratitude Ghana. Mammy will be here, if I see Ghana. Let me come here. Or if you school down at my committee, I joined the first women movement. I will come down for coming to Maku. If Mammy will be here, you will feel it there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. Basically, what he's saying that she was a very courageous woman, perhaps the only courageous woman that he has seen in Ghana, having supported her husband, and even through the time 1979 coup, when a lot of people were against the husband, she always stood by the husband. Unfortunately, also late former President Jerry John Rawlings, and pleading that her soul would rest in perfect peace. Thank you so much, Lawrence, for calling us from Nkrofo. So yes, that's what we're talking about this morning. Calling, the numbers are on your screen. Emilia Joyce is now. Good morning to you, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us where you're calling us from and your own thoughts regarding the former First Lady. Emilia, I'm sorry, we can't hear you. If you would kindly reposition yourself so we're able to hear better.
I'm calling from Saltpond.
From Saltpond?
Yes.
Please, good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us. Share your thoughts with us.
Okay, thank you. Yes, about the Nana Ajman. I know him. I know her. She's a person that come to Saltpond the other day. And she's a poor person. I remember her. She's a person that I like her very much. And I walk if the fan to have Munamasa, Miss Afuna walk with Naman. Even there, but the King Hawa, and then Miss Afuna walk with Naman, over your walk with them. It called Anka Command, Abandi, Nomabo, Onino, or but to say, I'm a man, Nama walk with, even there, are different. It's no missing, I'm sure. Now, Yamina Casaman, baby papa, now on Tuna.
Thank you very much, Emilia. Speaking Fanti, before she wrapped up there, asking that the Lord will give the late former First Lady a good place of rest. And earlier, saying that she came to a lot of communities, you heard her mention, and transformed even how women, the fisher folks, worked on fishes to sell. Let's go to 3FM 92.7. Johnny Hughes is biting now.
Sometimes our people disagree with you.
92.7 Sunrise on 3FM.
I mean, sometimes we take a hard bite. It helps us as politicians.
Nowadays, when I listen to you, I even panic.
Maybe, hey,
why do you panic?
The way you, Papa, you know Papa.
Figuratively, he bites as hard as he can.
Okay.
And of course, when he puts his fangs into you, you certainly feel it. I think it pretty much Johnny's bite.
Bismillahir Rahman Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Friday, the 24th of October in the year of our Lord 2025. Welcome to Johnny's Bites and Juma Mubarak to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. When you pray, pray for us as well. When you pray, say one for us. When you go before Allah, say one for us. And say one for Ghana, because Ghana needs to be rescued. Let me begin by saying a very big thank you to my Paramount Chief, Bonatia II of the Bogo traditional area, for my beautiful regalia. And I am proud to say that I am Dagbando by association, and I am proud of it. Very, very proud of it. That you cannot take away from me. But today I also want to celebrate Sonar Fashions, even though he didn't provide this apparel. But I want to celebrate him with Idi Amin, who works with me here at Media General. I want to celebrate both of them from the genuineness part of my heart. And then there's a great man of God that I want to celebrate. Makes it, you find a picture for me. This man, he's young and looking fresh, but he's 60. He's an old man I refuse to age. Apostle Abraham Lamte. Tomorrow is his 60th birthday, and we want to celebrate him and eulogize him, because I don't want people to die before we come and praise them. He's one of the great men that you can find on the planet called Earth, one of the great men who has been pushing our tribe's agenda, one of the great men who preaches the word without apology, one of the great men who has a great voice, he sings so beautifully, one of the great men of God who is able to dissect, trisect, and bisect the word of God. And he is going to be 60 tomorrow. If you have his phone number, call him. Or if you know his social media number, his social media page, yes, call him and celebrate him. We have to celebrate people like this. This is the prison's board chairman that they never got. This man. This is the prison's board chairman that they never got. This man. I say it again for the third time. This is the prison's board chairman that they never got. I finished. Now, let's talk about Rosebank International University. Today they have an open day. And I encourage all of us to go to the Rosebank International University, go and be part of the open day, understand and learn what's going to happen today. It's from some 9-ish all the way to about 3 in the afternoon. Just go there, go and see the school, go and see the school with the heritage, the international lecturers, Dr. Samoa, Dr. Kwating, Dr. Eboafo, Tumi, and all the great gentlemen and ladies. And I talk about these people because they taught me, and today you say, oh, he's doing very well. I want them to also impact your life and that of your children, and that of your cousins, and that of your nephews and nieces. I want you to go to the Rosebank International University today and be part of the open day celebrations that will happen today. All right? A school that is hinged on the community, a school that has international lecturers, a school that has accredited degrees from across the world, so GTech will not come chasing you, they make you strive globally. And let's get their number quickly up there so everybody can get a chance to call them, whether in Ghana or any part of Africa or the world. Come and be educated in Ghana. +233 307 007 800. That's +233 307 007 800 or www.riuc.edu.gh, and you will be properly sorted out. It will look, you will thank me later. Now we will talk about Her Excellency Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, but before we talk about her, yesterday I began a series, and I said I'm going on that series for full 2 weeks. Because the boss or leader at GTTC, he said I told a lie. Yesterday I showed him an exam answer sheet which was not procured using the procurement processes in the school. Today I'm going to show you the items and the one that his wife procures for the school. Show me the details. And this one, I'm taking it personal because you cannot be going about doing things that you know is not correct. And before we speak here, we have gathered all the details. Look, put the prospectus up there. Liquid soap, boots, lab coat. Oh, put the details up there. We will see it together. So when we finish seeing it, then you come and explain to me and write another letter to your boss that I did not lie. Ebenezer Edu, Assemblyman for Kaneshi Electoral Area, good morning to you. I showed you this yesterday. I want the prospectus. This one. How was it procured? I asked a simple question. Nobody has had the goodness of steel to come and answer the question that I asked. Very simple question. How was this procured? I want the prospectus, so he sees that we have the documents that he himself, when he comes, Mr. Tete, and I will go next week. I will go to the Eastern region. Is it Akumadan? Oh, next week I'll go there. I shall go there. I will be there. I will be present in Eastern region. And then you tell me. that I got it wrong. It's not this one, please. I want the prospectus. It's a list. Liquid soap and all of those ones. Who produces them for the school? And how was it? How are they procured? So the children bring their own liquid soap to the school. Lie. Do you know we have 3 people in your school on admission on my case? Yes. You didn't know. Now you know, Agbebolo. Now you know. Oh, I said now you know. Yes, now you know. So let's continue. Now this is the list. Thank you very much, Corey and Mixing G. Let's read it together. Put the list up. Let's read it together. A pair of hand gloves, hard. Liquid soap, 5 liters. Who produces the liquid soap? Overall, who produces it? Uniform, who does that? School crest, 2 pieces. Copy of birth certificate. Flat file, 4 pieces. Yellow duster, 2 pieces. Safety boots for workshop. Accident insurance and copy of insurance card, 2. Marker, 1 box. Safety book. Toilet roll, 1 pack. Floor cleaner. Tracksuit. Can't even spell tracksuit properly. Mathematical set and scientific calculator. Decent sneakers, black. Decent sandals, black or brown. A pair of hand gloves, hard. Liquid soap, 5 liters. 1 kg of washing powdered soap. 1 school bag. And passport pictures, 2. I'm asking, out of these lists, next week, I will bring you a full comprehensive list of what is procured by the boss's wife in this school. He told his boss that we are telling lies. He didn't know that we have the documents. Oh, we have it, please. We will showcase the documents. I told you that this one, we will drag it. I will drag it myself. Oh, yes. Now, Fabi Nana Kodedu Ajima Rollins' video, we had a good dance, and may she rest in peace. The first lady of the 4th Republic of the Republic of Ghana, and she's died. She lived full and died empty, and she served humanity well. Let's enjoy.
Much for joining us. I told you it's going to be exciting. A day after Ghana's 62nd independence anniversary celebrations. And guess what we have here? A woman who is well sought after all over the world. In Ghana, she's an epitome of excellence and dedication and development, and she has a warmth and depth that you would want to know about. She has a new book out called It Takes a Woman. A question on my mind, it takes a woman to do what? We'll be asking her. She's the former First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, and she's Her Excellency Dr. Nana Konedu. She's my guest this morning. Good morning. Good to see you. Looking fabulous as always.
Oh, thank you.
As always.
You can leave out the dog. You can just call me Nana.
Yes, madam. I'll call you. No, can I call you Nana?
Nah.
How are you these days?
The morning is on 92.7 Sunrise
Generally,
on
I'm
3
okay,
FM.
but I think the weather has been a bit unstable for me. And asthmatics suffer this time, so it hasn't been the best. Yeah. That's why I didn't go to Tamale yesterday.
Okay.
I was really suffering.
Right.
From the asthma.
Your signature hair gown or hair duku, I think. Where did you pick it from?
Sunrise on 3 FM.
Well, I kind of decided that I wanted to start wrapping my hair based on the fact that sometimes you go out and the wind is blowing and your hair is all over the place.
Okay.
So that was a practical thing I wanted to do.
Right.
I did it once and I looked in the mirror and I'm like, okay, that's not bad. But I wanted a particular style.
Okay.
So I asked Mrs. Sankara, how do I do this so that it sits well on my head? But I don't want to be struggling with it all the time. And she said, I'll show you one style that will always sit on your head.
I see.
So she showed me the style and I've kind of improvised it a bit.
Okay.
So it used to have a tail at the end. I didn't want a tail.
I see. Interesting. Your new book, congratulations, I must say. I've read the book. It's exciting. Even it's an easy read, but it has a lot of information. You should go out there and grab your copy. It Takes a Woman. So the title of the book, It Takes a Woman, talks about your connection to the Ashanti leadership, the Queen Mother, and all of that, how they have shaped their sons to govern and rule.
Sunrise on 3 FM.
How is that? Maybe you'd want to throw a bit more light on that for us.
The title itself is a bit, you look at it and I'm at the back there, and you think I'm just going to talk about myself.
Right.
But the title is really to show that it really does take a woman to get things going, whether it's in the home, whether it's in the school. If you have more women in your factory, trust me, your factory will do better. If you give women the strength, they will work better. But to throw back to what you said, in the Ashanti system, the woman is key.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you go to the that's why it's matrilineal actually. So if you go to the kingdom or the chieftaincy institution, you will find that the strength of the woman sort of directs everything. So the Queen Mother has all the strength, not just strength, but the capacity and capability to be the custodian of tradition. She knows who should do what should happen when. So she kind of directs, but she always takes a kind of a step back. She doesn't throw it in their faces. So even though the king himself is so powerful, it takes a woman to nurture him and put him there. So I'm kind of playing around with this, but at the same time, in every home, it takes a woman for the home to be a disciplined home.
Was that the case in your situation?
It was the case.
So President Rawlings, for example, if he had a major decision to take,
the best in the morning
part of the life of the people,
92.7 Sunrise on 3 FM.
You had to guide them.
I thought you meant home as home.
Home, yes. Home as home. Because when you appears, like Mr. Bambrako said, you went out to dance and all of that. I'm sure you'd have influenced, pushed him a bit.
No, if he asked my opinion on something, I will freely give it. If he doesn't ask my opinion on it, maybe I hear it and I have an opinion on it that I think may help in some way, I'll give it.
Right.
It's up to him to take it or not. But I thought you were talking about the home itself.
Right, the home itself. The home itself, raising your children, what to put where, how to manage what. That was your death. That was your corner.
That was my corner. But if you ask my opinion on issues, I'll give it. Right. Because I think that it is right so to do.
Yesterday was Ghana's 62nd birthday. You were missing for good reason. But a lot of people, young people hear about 1957 and they're thinking, what really happened during that time? You lived through the period.
I did.
What do you remember?
I think it was a very joyous time. I didn't understand it too much. All I knew was that the Governor General would be leaving, and President Nkrumah, then Prime Minister, was going to take over, and that.
Sorry about that.
I'm sorry about my. Things are going to get better for us as a nation. And we're not going to be exploited anymore. It was a happy time on that day, maybe before and into that day, and maybe a day or two after. It was as if the whole country was on holiday. Merrymaking, fireworks, 3 nights of fireworks. I mean, which was happening around the Turf Club at the time. And we lived just behind the Turf Club, so it was easy to see all the fireworks. And the bust of Nkrumah was made, and it was, with the Queen's bust in fireworks, and it was amazing. So, yes, it was an interesting time, and you live it and hope that indeed all that we were being told would be the, for the future.
What was growing up around that time when colonialism was in disequilibrium and the struggle for independence had taken center stage? It was forceful at the time. What was growing up as a child like?
I didn't feel it. Even though one of my uncles was working directly with Dr. Nkrumah, I didn't feel it at one going out and one coming in. But sometimes, you have leaflets being thrown from a plane, and people within the household say, "Oh, these are leaflets from Dr. Nkrumah." It didn't make too much sense, but we believed it. And usually it was to say how, it was to talk about cleanliness, or to talk about not wasting water and stuff like that. But all in leaflets, it sort of...
was just interesting.
So I wasn't in the midst of the activity towards independence. It was just the days of 2 days before, maybe 2 days after, and the radio stations, the radio itself was just the box radio, by the way. The radios but they were very crisp, extremely, very clear. And the news readers, the excitement in their voices and all that, these are things you can pick up.
Right. Yeah. I'm looking at page 280 of the book, the title, the chapter titled Hope Rising, and it says, our mothers, like many Ghanaians, saw the filth and hated it, lived in the crumbling economy and were shaken by it, yet only hoped that someone or something would someday change it for the better. I want to connect this to 1957, when independence was declared. Ghana was touted as the beacon of hope.
Yes.
Then by 1966, we had seen rubbish lined up across the streets, flowing along with the water and getting into the sea and all of that. How did we drop or sink so low from the beacon of hope to being flat on our backs?
I think that we can take it from 66
in the morning is on 92.7.
The heaps of garbage that we used to see like mountains up to 1982. It was just growing and getting worse. I can only say that it was a very sad moment for some of us, because I lived in rage. I saw what it was like. I saw how, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but when somebody is given a responsibility, they do it and do it well. Where the person in charge of parks and gardens can come and measure your hedge and tell you that the hedge is too high.
They used to do that?
Yes, and you trim it, you actually shape it the way they want it. So everything was immaculate. Nobody was allowed to build walls. You needed to have a hedge. And of course it flowered, and things were nicer then. It was only after 1966 that people started building walls. I don't know why. But we started building walls, and then now the wall is the thing. I mean, you hardly find anybody with a hedge for the sake of a hedge. So,
in managing our waste, the President of the Republic has said that, look, in the next year, by which time his tenure would have expired, Accra should be the cleanest city in Africa.
In the morning is on 92.7.
A dream that can become a reality. What is it?
It can only be a reality when there is some... we don't just say it, but we act it. There's a minister for sanitation.
Absolutely.
We see her in the news all the time, and I think she's doing what she can. But she also has a program, a plan. I do not think that it is a myth, because it can be done. But it's got to be done with all the force, with a lot of force, all the forcefulness that we can all master, and education. While we are educating, and there's force from the ministry and the rest of us, we should let the populace know that you can't just throw paper wherever you want. You can't throw your bottles wherever you want. You know where my office is? There's I think, a little clinic very close to the office. And they bring their rubbish and dump it across the street. This week I'm going to try and write a letter to the AMA to go and ask them to come and collect it, because nobody says anything. Then it's building up. Another person will say, okay, now we can. Then he said, I've lived in Ridge since I was like maybe 7 years. I've seen the way it used to be. I've seen how it's been, and I've seen the deterioration, and it's
Does it break your heart?
It does.
Well, this is her ladyship, as I like to call her, Nana Kune Dwajima Rollins. Do fight till the end. And I want to say thank you to our group CEO Beatrice Ajiman for this good conversation. She trusted me with it, read the book in 3 days, and here we are. May God bless her soul. But we also, on this occasion, got her to dance sometime in 2018. Dance with you? Oh, of having a dance with you?
Oh no,
yes.
There's no music.
There's music coming up right now. What should I play this?
You know, I'm a commander. I'm not forget. Ain't kind of walking. I'm a fear. If I know what, but I know what. Ain't kind of way. Ever have my phone. On my
Thank you for staying with us right here on TV3. It's time for Big Issue, where we discuss the top issues of the day, bring various perspectives into it to try and unravel and understand what is happening here in the nation. And there are two main issues we'll be discussing with this morning. The first, like we did indicate, and we've already started, reflect on the life and legacy of former First Lady Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, even as the nation grapples with the sudden death. It's one that caught many by surprise, particularly because she's been seen in the last couple of weeks. I've heard people who have even made reference to this week, but the last couple of weeks, major public events, she had been seen at those particular events. So always seen her trademark attire with the headgear on in the company of her children. And yesterday, we also saw that announcement that was done by the head of the family, the children. Very difficult moments for the family and the nation as a whole. Tough time for so many years. She was a key figure in Ghana's political dispensation, and the nation's political history cannot be written without reference to her for what she represented. And for so many years, she was that figure of women empowerment that we all associated her with. And she made her mark in the political space. And early on when we're having this morning's segment, I made a point that I would describe her as a woman of conviction, particularly the circumstance under which she left the party, the NDC, to set up the NDP, how she remained in the NDP with her daughter remaining in the NDC and being a member of parliament on the ticket of the NDC. I mean, she is a strong-willed woman who works what she believes in, and all those are things that we'll be reflecting on as we even come to terms with her death. And there are lessons to learn from it, and sometimes these things happen. No matter how many times deaths occur, it's just very difficult for us to accept it, that it's the only thing, it's the only constant, it's inevitable, it's going to happen, but we still are never ready for it, and will never be ready for it. And some of these things just remind us of the mortality of man. Once you are born, it's a given that you would have to go at some point in time. And so far since her passing, there have been lots of tributes that have come through. I'm going to show you some of those tributes on the screen quite shortly. I think there's one that came from former President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo and a host of other key Ghanaian leaders. We'll be bringing that up on the screen shortly. This one here is from Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the former president. He says, "My wife Rebecca and I are deeply saddened by the news of the untimely passing of the wife of the late first president of the Fourth Republic, His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings, the longest serving First Lady in our history and the founder of the 31st December Women's Movement, Excellency Mrs. Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. As a role model for women in Ghana and across Africa, Mrs. Rawlings' gender advocacy and women empowerment initiatives remain impactful to this day. Her commitment to the growth of the women's movement in Ghana and the African can never be forgotten. She was a warm and affectionate woman with a good sense of humor and was excellent company. Rebecca, my children, and I extend our deepest condolences to her children and family on this sad occasion. May her soul rest peacefully in the bosom of the Almighty until the last day of the resurrection, when we shall meet again." So that is coming from Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. We can now look at the statement that was also issued by the majority leader, Mahama Yariga, on behalf of his group in Parliament and Parliament as well, also expressing his condolences to the family of Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. The majority caucus in Parliament of Ghana has learned with shock the reported sudden death of Her Excellency Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, former First Lady and wife of His Excellency Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, and the mother of our dear nation. It goes on to say that Honorable Dr. Zanato Ajiman Rawlings, MP for Clote Kwale and Chairperson of the Security and Intelligence Committee of Parliament. We are informed this sudden demise occurred this morning, that was yesterday, after a short illness. On behalf of the entire majority members of Parliament, the Right Honourable Speaker Babin and the entire Parliament of Ghana, we wish to extend our deepest condolences to the family and the nation for this great loss. May her gentle soul rest in peace. She paid her dues to this country. So that is also that statement coming from from the majority leader as well on this particular issue. Let me introduce you to my guest in the studio this morning. Abraham Amaliba is a legal practitioner, a member of the National Democratic Congress and Director General of the National Road Safety Authority. Senior, thank you for joining us, as always.
Thank you for having me.
Next to him is Kwame Jantua. Kwame Jantua is a legal practitioner, energy consultant, a member of the Convention People's Party as well. He's here with us today. Senior, thank you for joining us.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. I hope you're also doing well.
I'm fine. I thought we would have a minute silent for the former First Lady and my cousin.
I think we can do that.
Yeah. I think that is in order.
After the introductions.
After introductions, yes, then we'll do that. So, Ebo Bakman is also.
But he just returned from Dubai, or you don't know that?
Oh, really?
Yes, I thought you would have made the people to know that because he was absent last week and he will be absent next week again, he's become a globetrotter.
Interesting.
So you need to make the people know that.
Oh, okay.
And his circumstances have now changed.
So that is Kwame Jantua. If I left out there, according to senior AB, he's a globetrotter now.
I'm working for the country.
Okay.
I'm not just getting up and going. I'm working for the country.
Okay.
Why do you have to defend yourself?
I'm not defending myself. You know, the way he's saying it, as if now the man.
You enjoy yourself.
I'm enjoying myself.
Okay.
As he said, I eat in Dubai and poo in Ghana.
Ebo Bakman is Deputy Communications Director for the United Party, the latest political party in town. Yes. And Prof as well is with us in the studio. Professor Enoch Opoku-Ntwi is a governance and policy analyst, always with us. I think we can do the minute of silence now for Nana Konedu Ajiman Rawlings.
Should we stand or should we sit?
We stand.
We stand.
We stand.
So that is what we'll be starting off our discussion segment today with, and I want to start with AB Senior because she was a key figure of the NDC for so many years, the wife of the founder of the party, First Lady, for so many years, and we all know how things were in the latter stages and everything, but she would always be a part of the history of the party. What are the thoughts especially when you received this news, and what are the thoughts as of now? You've had enough time to process her demise.
Well, let me say good morning to your viewers. The history of modern day Ghana, when written, would find space for Nana Konedu Ajiman Rawlings. And when I say modern day Ghana, I'm talking about the period between 1981 to today. Some people have described her as Margaret Thatcher of Ghana, but I say no. Her co-equal, or the person we can describe her with, is Winnie Mandela. And when you look at her circumstances and look at Winnie's circumstances, how both husbands were in jail and how they had to take care of their children, she can. And I wasn't surprised when Winnie died, she was there to lead a delegation too. So for me, she's actually the Winnie Mandela of Ghana and not the Margaret Thatcher of Ghana. But a big Baba tree has fallen. And those of us from the north know how Baba trees look like. It's huge. Her legacy, her influence is there for everybody to see. I am going to look at her in three ways. Nana Konadu as the foremost first lady, Nana Konadu as a gender activist, and Nana Konadu as a politician. As a first lady, well, I wasn't there when Fatih Nkrumah was first lady. But as a first lady, she brought to that office a sense of agency and activism. You know, those of us who were born in the late 60s saw what she did in terms of bringing honor and ensuring that the position of the First Lady was not just a mere position, but a position that can be used to influence society. And she did it very well. It was during her time as a First Lady that we saw girl-child education taking center stage. It was during her time that we began realizing that it is important to educate your girl child just as the boy child. And you remember there was a jingle, send your girl child to school, send your girl child to school. You remember that?
Yes.
It was a popular jingle. Yeah. You know, and as a result of that, numbers, enrollment in our schools, primary schools, began tilting towards in favor of the girl child. And up to today, it has been so. When you go to the primary schools, the girls are more than the boys. It was due to her effort. She single-handedly ensured that happened. Her influence, today, as we speak, there is no nook and cranny of this country that Nana Konadu has not visited. Indeed, when we were growing up in secondary school, and it was only GBC, first 30 minutes of news was all dedicated to Nana Konadu Marolins, to the extent that people were now switching off their TV stations. But it was based on merit because she was in the thick of affairs. I'm saying, and I knew this for a fact, 30 minutes, first 30 minutes of the GBC, prime time news, it used to be 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. So you could, because she was doing so many things in the countryside, said that you couldn't ignore her. All in an attempt to change the destiny of girls and women in this country. Need I say that as we speak today, there are Gari processing centers named after her or the 31st December Women's Organization. There are daycare centers as we speak, because she felt that what inhibited women from blossoming is taking care of their children. So can we put daycare centers at areas that particular market centers? And I'm told in Makola there's still one there. That is her influence. Bakeries, you know, she call it the attempt to provide women and children a facility that can provide food for them every now and then. She did all this before Beijing conference came, and people are thinking that it was Beijing conference she went before. She was doing this. So before Beijing conference, Nana Konadu knew that the girl child was critical. And it was not surprising that she led the delegation. Last week or two, our president was back in Beijing, standing on the shoulders of Nana Konadu-Adjumah Rawlings to talk about the fact that very soon Ghana will have a woman president. You remember that statement?
Yes, yes.
It was Nana Konadu-Adjumah who laid the foundation for that. So she brought meaning to the position of the First Lady. Nana Konadu, as a gender activist, is also something that we cannot gloss over. The fact that she made women come to the realization that they are not only fit for the kitchen, you know, and her latter days motto, which is be bold towards women. Women should be bold and speak out, you know. She is such a woman that we cannot say that she only came but did nothing. Nana Konadu-Adjumah Rawlings came, saw, and conquered. She came, she saw, she conquered. Her politics is what you mentioned. It was unfortunate that she couldn't stay with the NDC. Because if you look at the history of the NDC, the emblem of the NDC, she played a role. You know, she's an artist.
Yeah.
Yes. So she had a role in designing that emblem. The only sad thing is that she taught some of us to dislike the MPP. She taught some of us to oppose the MPP, but at the end of the day, she went back and was dining with the MPP. But that is not a problem. That only shows how, as you indicated, she has her own conviction. And if she believes that where she was not proper, she could move. The fact that her daughter also, you know, stood for the NDC and won the parliamentary seat is a clear indication of her openness, because she didn't show any hostilities towards her daughter. Her open-mindedness. And I think that, once again, a big barber tree has fallen, and we must pay tribute to her.
And let me come to Prof now. And I mean, Prof, the point that AB makes, for a lot of women figures in the political space, I mean, you may end up just being seen as the wife of the president. But in her situation, the president she was married to was also not an ordinary character. It was Cherry John Rawlings. I mean, such a towering figure. Yet, she carved a totally different image for her. I mean, you mentioned Konadu and everyone who say the 1st December movement. I mean, yes, the Rawlings would always be there, but it would be there alongside the 31st December movement. I mean, I don't think we've had any such woman figure in the nation's political history.
I agree with you. First of all, greetings to our listeners everywhere in the world. I know a lot of people listen to TV3 and watch it. And I'm told that this program is now #1 on TV3, which means that my colleagues here are doing a great job. A woman born in 1948 and died in 2025. The husband, Jerry John Rawlings, was born in 1947 and then died in 2020. So Rawlings was just 1 year older than Nana Adjumah Konadu. And from the elders that I learned from, if a woman is very close to the husband, once the husband goes home, sorry, I think I need water. Once the husband goes home, it doesn't take long for the woman to join him because their souls are tied together.
In fact, I've heard a bit of that story.
Yeah, our elders will tell you that. So when a woman is very close to the husband, once the husband go home or once the woman go home, it doesn't take long for the woman to join the husband. So Rawlings went home in 2020, 5 years ago. And I'm not surprised that Nana Kunadu has joined him. Now, Julius Caesar asked a question, what is in the name? The name Nana Kunadu Agyeman Rawlings is a trailblazing figure in Ghana's politics and a champion of women's empowerment. She was an awesome woman, a woman with her brains who supported the man. People have not even talked about the culture that she broke. Because of Nana Kunadu's marriage to Rawlings, made a lot of Ashantis marry Nevers. There are a lot of things this woman did to break the barrier of myth, even in traditions. And she comes from a royal family, the Ashanti royal family, marry Rawlings and helping the man maneuver the way. She is a strong woman. It's not easy to marry a military person who is a, straight shooter. Military people say things as this. Yesterday I was talking to somebody, a lady, and she said that she liked the boys from Casford, the fellows at the universities. And I asked her, AB is a fellow. So why are you, she said, those guys are genuine. Those in the military, those in the boys' halls who sing all the songs that we know at the universities, they are genuine. They will say things such as this, and when you are staying with them, they say things. They don't hide anything from you. Most women like men like that, who are not behaving like they are criffé, and then they are not telling the truth, they are hiding behind everything. But these guys are straightforward. They tell you things such as this. So let me start from this way. All that I said was a prelude. Life is time. And there's a line in the sun for all of us. The day you were born and the day you go home. I've said it on this platform that we all came to this world for two things: to learn for our soul and for God. Now, God has never sinned, but he knows what sin is. So when we came to this world, we wanted the soul to learn. That is why when you are not learning on this world, then you have a problem. Now, when you get to a point that God, the line in the sun that is written for you, you get to that point. He knows your time has come. And then he needs to absorb you to himself. That is what we call death. So we'll have to go home one day, just that you don't have to go now. But at 76, this woman has done a lot. And I'm going to list what she's done for us to celebrate her, because she's done a lot for this country. But I will start with 1 Peter 5:7. It says, give all your worries and cares to God, for he cares for you. That is my word to the family. She had 4 kids that she left behind.
Children. Not kids, children.
4 children left behind. These are semantics.
Kids are good.
So, Kwame.
Prof, go ahead.
I'm surprised that he's also Kwame like me. So,
but it's true. Kids are good. Children.
It's semantics, based on where everybody is coming from. So she left 4 children. And these 4 children are people who are doing well. The last boy she's been working with, the last time we saw her with the boy was at Nana Sante Hima's funeral. Yes. And she's very close to that boy, because of the Oedipus effect. Boys are very close to moms. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if you see how she was showcasing this boy, she was a very proud mother. The good news is that what that means is that the kids that she's left behind are doing well for themselves. And when I see women and men who go home early and their kids are young and they don't have anybody to take care of it, that is painful to me. But they have left their kids in such a way that they can survive on their own. Now, let me talk about what this woman has done. Growing up, all that we knew of a first lady was Mrs. Rawlings. She was in charge of the Cuba boys who were going to Cuba. And I remember one story, somebody said that his brother was removed from the list a week before they flew to Cuba. And then he went to the house of Nana Kunadu at Rage. Mansa Musa told this story at Rage. And then the woman said that, are you sure your brother passed the exams? And then the guy said, yes. He said, I am somebody who don't play favorites. So called one guy and said, bring all the list, the papers of all these kids going to Cuba, what they wrote, the children, if I'm using Kwame's word. So the guy brought all the papers. Then the woman pulled all the papers and brought that boy's paper and said, but you passed all the tests. Okay, now let's bring his physicals, whether he was strong or he failed in the physicals. They checked the guy was a taekwondo person. Say, oh, okay, so physically he's wrong. Do you have any health problem for your brother. They checked, there was no health problem. So he directed the boy to a man that drive this boy to the camp and make sure that he's on board the next flight to Cuba. And that is exactly what happened. So she was somebody who did not play favorites, but she did a lot of things. Now I'm going to end with her trailblazing thing that she did. 31st December, everybody knows about with their red beret, and that's something that the women wing of NDC, she did that to support her husband. Talking about a woman who supports her husband in whatever the man does. 31st December movement had over 2 million women as members, and that's a huge base if you're talking about elections. Then she established 870 preschools. So schooling was also one of her priorities. Then she also implemented the adult literacy program. So adult literacy program, she started it. And you know, when Alan came, we had distance learning that before started. But she started the adult literacy program. My mother was part of the beneficiaries that you go to schools, at the schools, churches, and at the mosques, people were going to learn adult literacy. So women who were bean sellers, who were watches sellers, were going to the adult literacy and learning. She brought that idea, which was very good. Then she started a project that generated income for women, Gary and other processing that really helped her. So she cared about women and children because she understood when she was raising her kids and the husband was in jail, she realized how difficult it is to single-handed as a parent raise children. And here my heart does off to all women who are single-handedly raising their kids. God bless you and God strengthen you. Then she played a crucial role in the adoption of the Interstate Succession Law, PNDC Law 111. She knows that kind of tradition. In those days, when you die, your nieces will come and take over your assets, and then they kick the woman away with the children. She said, no way, it's not going to happen. She introduced this PNDC Law 111 so that if the man did not leave any will, and now we are being told that about 90% of Ghanaians die without a will. So it means that the tradition is still there. We don't write wills. People think that if you write a will, it means that you are going to die the next day. But that is not the case. When you prepare your back before you leave and go home, at least you leave peace behind so that your children will not be fighting about some of these things. So when we talk about PNDC Law 111, she was apt to it on that. She lifted the spirit of rural women and empowered them to do a lot of things for themselves. She was also part of the Ghana becoming the first country to ratify the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child in 1991. So she was part of it. Then she was also the first woman to run for president in 2016. We know Kradonko and the others came in, but she was the first to start that. Then she founded the the NDP. Remember, she was also one of the vice president, the vice chair of NDC.
Yes.
So she's done a lot for herself, and I can say with all confidence that Plato said that if you don't want to be anybody in the world, come, say nothing, do nothing, and die nothing. But she came, said something, did something, and she died something.
And our condolences once again to the family of the former First Lady in this moment of grief, this very difficult time. And it's a pain that we share with all of them. It's a national loss at this point in time. And Ebo, I mean, I think what do you say is that one thing that comes to mind when you think of the former First Lady?
Let me say this, that every nation, every family, and every husband needs an Enekonedu. I mean, she was such a powerful and impactful human being. And my colleagues have mentioned some of the things she did with her life. And I believe that just as Kwame Nkrumah will eternally be remembered as the best president Ghana has ever had, I think on the same score, Enekonedu Adjumma Rawlings will be remembered as the finest and, if you like, the best First Lady Ghana would ever have. I mean, the woman was so impactful that even as you speak, go to our villages and you see her fingerprint and footprints there. That is how impactful she was. I never had opportunity to have any one-on-one interaction with her, but looking at her from afar, I could see someone who was so caring. And she was always happy. You will see her dancing. And I started liking her more after her work as a first lady, when every important function of the states, you see her representing. I mean, she was so patriotic and so caring about the needs of our people. And if you consider the role she played in empowering women and also exposing them to things they would have never known as women in terms of even their rights and all that, I think I wouldn't have to say much more except to condole with the family, especially the children, because it's not easy to lose a mother. I have lost my mom. Both of them are gone. But the feelings are not the same when your dad goes and your mom goes. I mean, especially if you are very close to your mom, and you could see how she was very close to the children. And so it's not going to be easy, but may the Lord give them strength to go through this time. And the nation will be behind them, considering their mom's contribution to this country. I think her legacy will live on many, many, many years to come. And I believe that many more people will be naming their children after her because of the impact she made in this country.
Let me come to Senior now. Senior, you knew her personally, correct?
She's my cousin.
So, I see.
And my colleagues have said a lot about her, so there's no need delving into it. My last message I had with her, and I'll read it. I was supposed to go and see her, and I was trying to find a time. So I sent her a message, and she responded and said, "I am quite well, but suffering from the burning plastics which affects my lungs and bring on my asthmatic attacks. So let's meet next week." Now, on a family basis, asthma is a crisis in my family from my grandfather's side. And from the family, it jumps generations. So it's jumped my generation. But when you look at our children, quite a lot of them have it. And I became close to her when President Rawlings died. In fact, I became close to President Rawlings at the latter end of his life, because he used to call me, say, he watches me on TV and I said this, I shouldn't say it that way, or this is the fact. And so it drew me close to Nana Akufo-Addo because of the family ties. And of late, as I've read, we became close. The last time I was with her was at the Namibian ambassador's send-off. She was now going to be a minister, so at her send-off. So we sat and we talked a lot. But for me, the interesting thing about her was that, one, she's the longest-serving first lady the country has had. But to look at all our leaders, including those who leaders, how many of their wives joined their husbands? So you can see from the revolution time, she was there and she played a part, and that part she played made her very, very important in the history of Ghana. We've lost a great woman, and if you realize, she spoke her mind. One thing she couldn't stand, which I don't know whether it's a family thing, which I've done just now. When he said kids, I said children. She couldn't stand the pronunciation of things wrongly. I listened to Kojo Yankson this morning, and he said he met her at a function, and somebody pronounced the Ghana currency wrong. You know, sometimes we say CDs and some we have a different way of saying CDs or something like that. And she got pissed and told Kojo Yankson that, I think you understand English, you have a good diction, why don't you start some program on radio?
I guess that birthday Say It Right.
Yes.
Say It Right in the morning.
Say It Right in the morning. So she was the kind of woman who would make sure she straightens you when you go wrong. Sometimes when I go there, she said, I watched you. You said this, you said this, you said this. But these are the facts. There were some business people here who she felt were camouflaging and doing things. So she'll call me. When you go, talk about this person. A, B, C, D, E is what they've done. X, Y, Z is what they haven't done. This is who I am. But for me, I listened, but I would tell her, it is not my place to go and sit on TV and talk about individuals. But she was quite strong. When you look at some of the things she did, when she went to Beijing, she stole the show. And she didn't go as a first lady, she went as an activist. And I think she helped in bringing this women's activism in place. And a lot of women, I think, have learned from her. I want a situation where we have a lot of women in politics. A lot of women like Nana Rawlings in politics. I remember growing up, her father was strong, and he used to come to the old man since they were colleagues. He used to come to the old man and sit and talk. And, you know, in our days, your father can have a visitor, and you are standing by the door just in case he needs you to go and run an errand. And some of the conversations they were having were heavy. I didn't understand it, but you could see that they were talking heavy, they were talking family business, and they were able to distinguish their traditional setup from their political leanings. And when they spoke, you could see they spoke nation. And I think that's where she also learned that from. Now, Nana Akuredu wasn't perfect. There were things she did that some people didn't like. But generally, on the whole, she has left an imprint on Ghanaian politics. The first lady to stand for the presidency, she's done a lot, and I hope, unfortunately, the only leader in Ghana that wrote 14 books was Kwame Nkrumah. I hope she wrote a book.
She did. Okay. Just a few years ago, okay. She had the autobiography.
Okay. And you see, the thing with Ghana is that when people write books, we don't hear about it, we don't see it, we don't even use it. As opposed to going abroad, as going abroad, somebody write a book and you see everybody reading that book. And you even see on TV them discussing it. We don't do so in this country. There's a lot of history in the books our politicians write. So kudos to her, and may her gentle soul rest in perfect peace. Yes, the asthma was really serious. I think she got the brunt of it from family. Hers was quite severe and quite strong, and it really demobilized her, you know, when she got an attack. So we pray that her soul rest in peace. But the good thing is that she is going to meet her beloved President Rawlings. It's a shame that they've died young.
Yeah.
They've died young. They haven't died old. And it shows that they brought their children up in a way where they could stand on their own. And I think Senator and the rest would be able to stand on their own, even with the two figures in their family gone. And we wish them all the best, and we're all there to support them.
Yes, and
for the children, I think they are a product of two strong human beings. And so they need to exhibit that and be strong. But in the words of Gramps Morgan, Jah will wipe away their tears.
And the family did indicate yesterday that subsequent communication on what happens next will come from the government. The government has already issued a statement announcing the death. And so we'll leave it here for now. Our prayers continue to be with the family, that they be strengthened in this moment of pain. We know that unfortunately it's a pain that we share with them, and so we'll be in their faces talking about some of these things, but we have to also respect the memory of the former First Lady as well. And so that is it by way of our first discussion, the first topic this morning. We can now move to the second topic, and let's bridge it by listening to the MPs in Parliament, the MPP MPs who have endorsed Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Let's take a listen.
Today, over 60 members of Parliament, in fact it's 63 precisely, out of the 87 minority members in Parliament, stand together in unity and conviction to make this clarion call. We declare our total and unwavering support for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as the next flag bearer of our great party. We make this declaration not out of sentiment, but from deep conviction. We have seen his work, his discipline, his resilience, and his readiness to serve. We believe that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia embodies the next chapter of the MPP's vision, a future built on competence, innovation, unity, and hope. We affirm that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is not just the candidate who can unite our party. He is the leader who can win the confidence of Ghanaian people and secure victory for the MPP in 2028 and beyond. This is our moment to make history once again. Let us reward loyalty, humility, and hard work with trust. Let us renew the NPP tradition with a leader who represents continuity and innovation. Let us choose the man who has walked the path, carried the burden, and delivered results. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is our choice, the people's choice, the party's strength, and Ghana's future. He carries Danko's courage, Buzia's intellect, and Dombo's humility and unifying heart. With him, the NPP will not only win, but will lead Ghana into an era of progress, opportunities, and national pride. Kokwam Prechu Sapon MP Mampon. Nana Ayew Afriye Afija Asokore. Kofi Aman Kwame no Atwuma Kwamoma. Kwame Yayi Maduantwi Asante Achim Central. Francis Asantu Bwanche Bantama. Vincent Eko Asefua Old Tafo. Yaw Frimpon Ado. Manso Adubia. Mavis in Kansa Bodu. Afija Secure East. Collins Adumaku Mensa. Afija Kwabre North. Dr. Patrick Bwachi Yado. Obuasi East. Akwasi Konedu Menshia North. Professor Kingsley Nyako Kwadaso. Ernest Yaw Enim Kumau. Damata Apia Nima Salam Afija Kwabre South. Dr. Fred Chey Asamoah Offense North. Francis Osu Echan Dwabin. John Darko Suame. Kofi Obri Yeboah Subin. Michael Edu Oforikrom. Nana Ejeibe Bafuawua Menshia South. Nana Eric Ajima Prempe Ahafuano North. Nana Asafo J. Aye.
Reminds me of primary school when they are marking the register. You have to say present. But those are MPP MPs who have announced publicly, 63 of them, that they've endorsed Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia because they believe he is the best foot forward for the opposition party in terms of reclaiming power. There's a part of the speech where they say he has the talent of Dankwa, the intellect of Buzia, and the humility of Dombo. That's quite a script there. and I'll start with Ebu. Ebu is a former member of the New Patriotic Party.
To comment.
Deputy Communications Director of the United Party. And Ebu, very, Dr. Bawumia, he should be happy. 63 out of about 87 MPs who have endorsed him. There are some names who have not endorsed him. I've been going through a list. I've not seen one or two names there. They may have their own reasons, but this is good for him. You agree?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. It depends, you know, whether the MPs themselves have good relationship with their party members at the grassroots or even the delegates. Because I can tell you, some of these MPs, if they try primary, they will lose in their own constituency. So they endorsing the candidate just just to show off. I mean, just to play some psychological game on the delegates. But you see, let me say this without apology, that most of the names I heard are from the MPs from Ashanti region. Truth be told, MPs in Ashanti region don't really understand politics. And I say it not because I disrespect them. In Ashanti region, the only competition is primary. Once you win primary, you're an MP. So they don't really understand the nuances of politics. So they think that what they are going to do is all about winning a primary. Because that's what they know. And they think that once you win primary, you are going to win the next election. Because that is what they are used to. So I'm not surprised most of the names mentioned are people from Ashanti region. But you see, the MPP has chosen the path of self-destruction. And from the way things are going, it looks as if no one can stop them. And nothing can stop them.
In fact, the point you make, there are 29 of them actually from Ashanti, 29 from Ashanti region. The next highest number is Eastern.
The same characteristics.
Yeah, but Western just 2. From the Central 2 as well. But to be fair, they don't have a lot of
MPs in Parliament. Yeah. So the point I'm making is that they have chosen this path of self-destruction.
Why is it a path of self-destruction?
I mean, a party in crisis. Look what is happening in your country. Your main opponent is doing fairly well with the economy. And it's also exposing some shocking corruption cases from your administration. In fact, the party that is set to replace you is in full swing, the UP. And you think all that you can do is to be doing some of these things. If you're an MP and you're supporting a candidate, well, why don't you do it quietly? It questions whether MPP has leadership. I don't think any reasonable political party will sit down for such things to happen in the party. So if you come out openly to support a candidate and the candidate loses and another candidate wins, how are you going to cooperate with the person? I mean, this is simple politics. You don't have to study political science to understand this. That as we speak, the leaders of MPP are those in parliament, because they represent the voice of the party in the country at the moment. And so if you find yourself in this position, I think the most sensible thing you do is to play a neutral role. Even if you support someone, openly you play a neutral role to ensure that you're going to have some unity in the party. Because, I mean, listen to those who really care about the party, and they tell you the party is in crisis. And yesterday I was talking to one MP whose name is not there. He was shocked that they did that. And that is not the way to build their party. Are you getting the point I'm making? So, probably, I mean, if you look at all the damages they have done to this country in terms of economic mismanagement, in terms of galamsey, in terms of corruption, probably it is only right that they are now tearing apart their own political party. Probably the ghost of those who suffered or who died because of the DEP are haunting them, and that is why they can't do things right. Well, we are watching, and you said something. You said something. You said Alhaji Bawumia has what? Something of Dombo.
Yeah, I mean, not me. That's what the person who gave the speech. He says he has the talent of Dankwa, the intellect of Buzia, and the humility of Dombo.
So now they are saying that their party is
3-in-1.
It's 3-gate party. And so the Gans have no future in MPP in terms of ascending to the top position of becoming a leader of the party and possibly president. If and where you have no place in MPP, it's only 3 gates. And you see, I don't know the motive of these MPs. I don't know what is informing this decision. Because, I mean, if it's about issue of competence, Dr. Bawumia is far away from competence, given his track record. When he was in charge of the economy, inflation got to 54%. Have you forgotten? When he was in charge of the management of the city, we know what happened to the city, and we know what has happened to the city as we speak. Look at the issue of interest rates. What the man is known for is economics, and that is where he failed woefully. Even if you take him to digitalization. Were you not in this country when he said he had brought some app, metric app, and that with our app, there's no way we're going to have ghost names at the National Service Secretariat. Look at what has happened. Even going to buy app, he couldn't buy a proper app. Yet they are saying he's very competent.
This is the only topic that can make a boy emotional.
I mean,
this is the only topic.
No, like, let's be honest. Because I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand.
The only topic that can make a boy emotional.
He bought a bootleg app, right?
Yeah, I mean, even buying app, he couldn't buy a good app. You said the man is competent. Now, if it's the issue of, I'm coming. If it's the issue of credibility, the man hasn't got any credibility. I mean, look, Google his name right now, and you see things about him. If it's about marketability, the man is not marketable. You see, people are making mistakes. I've said it here that marketability of a product depends on the market in which you are selling the product, not the product per se. They are focusing so much on the product, forgetting that Ghana is a peculiar political market where you have certain groupings dominating, the Christians dominating, the Akans dominating, the women dominating, the youth dominating. So when you are presenting a candidate and you want to think in terms of marketability, you think in terms of the nature of the market, not the product you are selling. That is why you can't sell pork in Zongo and make profit, even though it's somebody's delicacy.
That's a punchline.
Are you getting it? So it's up to them. It's just as I said, they've chosen the path of self-destruction. From the way things are going, it looks as if nothing will stop them. But it's not fair to other opponents like Ken and Brian and others. I mean, you don't do this as a political party.
Okay.
Meanwhile, to the national council chairman, Hakman Usajiman, is sitting there quietly. We expect them, as chairman said, so you see, there are people who are destroying the party. Apart from Ronaldo, who has finished his portion. He has destroyed the party to a large extent. Now, it is Hakman Usajiman and chairman Sebozo who are now finishing the rest. And by the time, I've said it here, by the time they finish 31st January election, the party can never be recognized again.
Okay.
And that is where the UP is there for them. In fact, if you are aggrieved, the original has come. The original UP that was made up of 7 political parties, not 3 gates, has come. And therefore, if you feel aggrieved, you are welcome home to original ideals and principles and values of the party that we all yearning to enjoy as a political party.
Let me come to Prof. We have another Prof on the Zoom, but Prof in the studio first. And Prof, the point AB makes about the perception. Okay, so you see, stay at Central Region. Central Region, Afenyomakin is from a Futu. That should be in the Central Region. His name is not there. So that is one name.
That's wise decision,
that I've noticed.
Very wise decision, my friend.
If you go to Greater Accra as well, Greater Accra, Patrick Boama is in Greater Accra. He's not in the Greater Accra list as well. If you can just go down to Greater Accra should be number 62. They're about number 62. So 62, you see Gloria Owusu and Emmanuel Tobin. So there's no Patrick Boama in that list as well. So that is an observation that I made just right now.
This young man,
just looking at so.
This young man, Jerry
Ahmed should be in Greater Accra as well. He's also not in. Okay, so I mean, potentially maybe leadership decided to stay out, but let me come to Prof now. Prof, he talked about perception, about the fact that they are basically the frontline voice for the party now, and that they should not be doing this. You agree with that?
So partly I agree to that, partly do not agree to that. All over the world, we have groups and individuals endorsing presidential candidates. It's done in America, it's done in Europe, everywhere. That, let's say, Natch will come and say that we support this candidate. Individuals will come and do that. But we'll talk about the market. Ghana's market is very peculiar. So if you don't take it, and 90% of sale, people buy you, not the product. It's you, the individual, that people are buying because they trust you and they know that what you're selling will be a good thing. So the trust factor, is it there for Bawumia? It is up to delegates to decide. But the danger in doing this is that even smart delegates will tell you that when you are running for office, and all these MPs know, that smart delegates, which is at the constituency, at the branch and the ward, they will call you, an individual contesting for the MP, and say that, come and meet us. But we don't want anybody to know that we are endorsing you. Why? Because if it doesn't go right for us, then the next candidate who won will not treat us well. So that is a smart thing in politics that people do in Ghana. You don't have to openly make a public announcement that I'm endorsing this candidate, because if Bawumia doesn't win, then what do you expect Ken and Brian's people and Dr. Duchum and Kwabena Japon's people to do with you? So it's a wrongly calculated move. If you want to vote for somebody, campaign for the person. And I also want to sit here and say that it's not all the 63 that are saying that they're endorsing him. The last day to the election, even the day of the election, some people can change their mind. That is how Ghanaian voters work. So out of 87, 63 are publicly endorsing Bawumia. 24 decided to abstain from it. There's a reason why. If you go to the people, and most of these MPs have lingered for a while, some are in parliament now that their issue is still in court, being contested. It means that they might not go again. So a lot of the dynamics will change at the last minute. But I'm going to end this way. If you go to the MPP Delegates Conference held in July 2025, remember there were 5,500 people there. So assuming that 5,500 people were going to vote, and then just 63 of them has endorsed Bawumia, it means we have a lot of the people. If these people are not popular at their base, and they cause anger to the other delegates in their constituencies who are also equally having one thumb, because voting is just anybody with a thumb, and the name is on the voter register as a delegate is qualified to vote. If those individuals get angry, that what is in it? That these MPs are always, this is the third time that they've endorsed Bawumia. So what is it? And Brian this morning, I heard him saying that he knows that from now that they have endorsed him 3 times, very soon they will start every week to endorse Bawumia, and he's not fazed by that. Then I listened to Kwaku Kwarteng, who speaks for Kennedy Japan, saying that this is an astroturf endorsement and it's a cosmetic endorsement. So looking at all this that is going on, it means that there's a little bit of confusion in the MPP camp now, because they cannot do a decent campaign. You don't have to make public announcement about this, because you all belong to one family. And not when your base, the root, have been shaken by another person, a secessionist, Alan Chamati, who broke away and has formed the UP party. So there is a traditional party coming from. The United Party is no more united. We have another United Party, and then we have the MPP. So your base is now having a problem. The ex-president Akufo-Addo has called them, the candidates, to break bread with him to talk about how they can unite, because they are all not happy about what is going on there. So I don't know what is going on in MPP now. This is not the time for them to be doing this. It is the time for these MPs who have come publicly to endorse Bawumia to talk about unity in the party, not the division, because what they are doing is rather dividing the party, not uniting the party.
Let me come to senior now. And I mean, if you look at the list, the breakdown, like I said, it's the stronghold of the MPP is where most of the numbers are coming from. I mean, another way of interpreting this data would be to say that it shows clearly that he wields or he enjoys a significant support from the members of parliament. Most of them are endorsing him. It's only fair that the party proceeds and gives him the mandate. Would that be a fair conclusion?
That there are others who are also competing. For me, I've said it and I always say it. The MPP need to build confidence in the people. This devastating election that they had, devastating. They are on the periphery, they're on the surface of the water, knowing that the sharks are underneath. They're not trying to kill the sharks. They're trying to do certain things to show that, oh, everything is fine. Everything isn't fine. This thing they did, they are putting Sansan in Agari. What is it meant for? What are they trying to say? Look, for me, and I'll continuously say it, all those standing and you tell me, oh, it's politics, it's democracy. All those standing with the kind of defeat they had, they should go and sit in a room and decide who should go so that they all support him. Because what they've done is just going to bring division. It's going to bring division. They should learn from the CPP. I keep saying it. They should learn from the CPP because the next election, if they get another devastating election, finito. Finito. If the NDC can bring somebody equally effective like President Mahama, finito. Finito. And that person also comes and continues good work. Ghanaians want good work. Ghanaians want comfortability. Ghanaians want to see that the country is moving. Probably after that, they might say, okay, let's consider another party. Now, can Vice President Bawumia, he might win. Can he win the country? That is what they should look at. Anybody they choose, they should ask the question, can they win the country? Because you see, in Ghanaian politics, one of the major challenges in Ghanaian politics is finance. Having the money to actually go out there and make your impact felt. MPP today, do they have it? Okay, let's even say it's business people who will support them. Today, how many business people, if the election were held today, how many business people will put their money in the MPP? Remember, a lot of the business people went through DDEP. Business people who were doyens of business died because of some of the things the MPP did. And so for me, they should be able to build their party from grassroots and stop what they are doing. Today, how many leaders of the MPP are there? Parliament. How many of them are in Parliament? The NDC has just increased their supermajority in Parliament. How many of the MPP members are in Parliament? Very few. And that few should be able to build the party from that small nucleus, not divide the party. Because you see, somebody like Ken, he has a loud mouth and he can talk well and he can convince delegates. He can convince delegates more than Vice President Bawumia. Rani Champong, he might have the wherewithal in terms of money to do what he wants to do. What does Vice President Bawumia have? The fact that he was Vice President? And who was he Vice President with? President Akufo-Addo. How do the people see President Akufo-Addo's tenure? Do they see it as good? So you can see there are quite a lot of negatives where Vice President Bawumia is concerned. Is he able to turn around? The other day I heard a speech from him talking about he'll make Ghana good again and it will be like a bruchery. That old rhetoric. That old rhetoric does not work in Ghanaian politics today. And as you rightly said, and Prof rightly said, and Ebu rightly said, Ghanaian politics is different from the world politics. Very different. It can hinge on a very small thing. Everybody will sway. So this thing that they are doing in dividing themselves, and maybe the parliamentarians, they are comfortable, so they want to stick together. They should actually seep into the regions and bring people together. If I were them, I would not let anybody know who I support. I would not. It doesn't help, because right now, Brian's camp, Ken's camp, Kwame Japon's camp, say, So, if it so happens that either win apart from Vice President Bawumia, what happens? What happens? And let's say Vice President Bawumia, former Vice President Bawumia wins. Are they likely to get the others coming to support? Bring their money to come and support? No. Haven't we heard Brian Champon say that he supported Vice President Bawumia and talking about the amounts of money? So they are creating divisions in their party, and I don't expect it from them as parliamentarians. They should be gorging the people to come together build a party, come together, build it. That's why I say they should go and sit at the footstool of President Kufuor. Let him advise them. Let him give them small wisdom. Because it doesn't look as if some of the things they are doing, there's wisdom attached to it. I hope that Vice President Baumia would not also shine in it and feel, oh, I've got supporters, and rather pull the reins and say, guys, yes, I'm happy that you support me. However, let's think party first and how we build our party.
Okay.
Because if you feel that they are supporting you, so you are gung-ho, down the line, some pepper will go into your eye that you can't even wash out.
Kenyan pepper.
Oh, okay.
And Ebi, should we read a lot of meaning into the names, the missing names? I mean, Greater Accra, there's no Jerry Ahmed, there's no Patrick Boama. And Patrick Boama is one of those MPs in the MPP group that enjoys a certain level of respect across the political divide. He's not in there. I've not seen Osahin Alexander Fenyamakin in the list as well. Maybe the excuse can be that he's a leader because the deputy minority leader is also not in the list, Patricia Apieje as well. But I mean, at least let's stay on Patrick Boama, for instance, staying away. I mean, is that to say that those people do not support or they don't want their support to be known as an alternative?
As an NDC person, I'm disappointed they are not part of it. I wish they were part of it to muddy the waters further. I am disappointed that
to whose advantage?
I'm disappointed that they didn't advantage to the CPP's advantage. You see, the 63 MPs, what they have done, it's like taking a knife and stabbing the heart of the MPP, what they have done. It is unwise to do what they did. What they did is further dividing the party. You see, I am excited that this is happening to them, and the 63 don't know what is going to befall them all. It's like tsunami that will hit them. Look at the way this country is being managed. Look at the air of freedom. Immediately you land at Kotoka International Airport, you are a foreigner, you can feel the air of freedom that is blowing. As opposed to the tense nature, there were times in this country when people were calling the military to take over. Call the military fools. You remember? That was where we got to. That was the brink, before you tumble. That's where we got to. And instead of them to sit down and think about how to unite their party, they are further doing this as parliamentary group. That is dangerous to their own survival. And look at who called them to a meeting. Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. Can you imagine? Who brought this to the party? And that's why I agree. Should have been Kufuor. The fact that Akufo-Addo even has his hands in these matters would make Ghanaians even think that it's a no-no. Yeah. You see? So, look, in the coming days, we'll begin to see how this party will look like after 1st December, after 7th December.
Yes.
No, 31st
January. Yeah.
Because the other contestants will begin to feel hard done by.
Isolated.
Now, how do you patch the differences after the 31st January exercise? You have a situation where currently, as we speak, there are spokespersons, when they put one here and they put one here, they spew garbage and insult each other. You have a situation where the party seems not to have direction. You have a situation where the MPs who are supposed to show leadership in Parliament. Once in Parliament, they are walking away, they are not taking part in activities, they are unruly in Parliament. So the party is no more attracting people who, look, for the first time, the MPP ran away from elections. You couldn't put up a candidate. MPP, it has never happened. In Tamale. So, but I'm happy because, you see, the way the leadership of the NPP is going, we are trying to ensure that the country progresses. We are conserving properties. We are ensuring that what belongs to government stay with government. In the likely event that they come, they will dissipate all these things. So I'm happy their center is cracking so that they can't come back immediately. Because look at what we are hearing from members of their party. What kind of looting is that? See how people amass wealth. And you see what is going to happen. And I'll be saying this on this platform. You, me, and all of us, our children will be friends to their children. In the near future, the two set of children will be talking. Oh, your father was a politician. Your father was a politician. Then my children will say that I was useless. That's what will happen.
Because you didn't steal.
I didn't steal. Then what will happen is that virtually their children will go and be playing golf and lying down, sleeping, and money will be coming because they've already invested those stolen wealth. Yes, they will be playing golf and come and sleep, and the money will come. My children will be walking, hustling, doing quack. That is not fair. So let them understand that it is important for them to rather look inwards and deal with the unity of their party than doing what they are doing. But I'm excited.
And just before I go to Prof on Zoom, I mean, on the division that you speak of and what the MPs have done, I mean, one would argue that other MPs had, prior to this, already endorsed other candidates. And so, for instance, Sticker, Dr. Stephen Amwa, he's an MP in Shaiso. He's been moving with Kennedy Japan all around. I think Kweku Kwati as well. And so the one would argue that it's the campaign season. Some of them had already gone to do that. It's just the case that Dr. Baumia has the numbers, and so a number of them have come out that way.
The effect is not the same. The collateral damage is not the same. Where you have an individual, members of parliament, aligning themselves to one candidate or other. But when you have almost the entire parliament, rooting in favor of one person.
Because he enjoys that support.
And I'm saying that the collateral effect is what I told you, that it has a damage that will be that will afflict the party. It is different when an individual MP is found doing those things. Okay. That's different. The effect is not the same as when you have an entire 64 MPs, 63 MPs coming to.
Even Kwame Japan really followed Baumia during the last election. So now he's contesting him. So individually, it's normal. But we all know from Romans Matthew 12:22 that a house divided among itself doesn't stand.
Okay.
And a house that is divided among itself with conflict leads to collapse of that house. So they should be wary of that.
Okay. Let me go to Professor Smart Sap on Zoom now. Prof, it's with the KSTU. Prof, good morning. Last week you were with us in the studio. Thank you for joining us once again. And where do you stand on this raging debate, so to speak, here in the studio? I mean, do you find anything wrong with what the MPs have done, or do you think that, I mean, like the others are endorsing, it's only fair that they also show their support, and it just happens that a significant number of them support Dr. Baumia?
Well, a very good morning to your good self, and a good morning to the team in studio. Good to see you all. Missed you all. Good to see you, Prof. Good morning. I think I would have started from a point, but you rightly sorted that one out with Senior Maliba right now, in respect of the conversation being made to look like it is one-sided. It is not one-sided. for me, it is only that one has more numbers than the others. But we know, and I'm sure all of the team in studio know that, with the exception of maybe Kwabena Japan, the rest have some members of parliament following them, making public statements in their favor, campaigning for them, endorsing them over other candidates. And so I would feel that it is a campaign season that has brought this kind of following. And one happens to have more members of parliament following him than the others. But it is not a mark of maybe division, in my view, where, there is a difference between party and government. Right now, party sits on the laps of the structures. So constituency have party leaders at the constituency, and the member of parliament attends the leadership meeting in attendance. But the leader, the one that chairs constituency meetings, is the constituency chairman. So it is on that person's lap that parties do sit. And you can graduate it to regional and to national. In parliament, like you rightly noticed, Afenyomakin feels he is a leader, and his the deputy, the lady, they feel Jerry Ahmed is also a leader, kind of. So at the leadership level, I'm sure it is wise for leaders to decide to be neutral or try not to go behind anybody, because the back will fall on them as leaders. But when you take the leaders out and you see some MPs strongly supporting Kennedy Japan, feeling that he's the man of the moment, some strongly supporting Dr. Brian Echampong, I don't think this morning we will be fair to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia only because he happens to get more numbers from that same cohorts than the other aspirants. It appears that we make it look like they don't know what they are doing. If it is dividing them, they know as well. And if it is uniting them, they know as well. So let's grant them the fact that they are also a very formidable political party.
Yeah, I mean, but as a political analyst, I mean, the obvious fact of the matter is that they are now going to have the election. In the likely or unlikely event, depending on how you are projecting it, that Kennedy Japan wins. Kennedy Japan, these are frontline politicians. The MPs are frontline politicians. Would he bring all these individuals into his inner circles to prosecute a campaign with him?
Fantastic. So the question is, the scale of the leader or the eventual leader to be elected in January. One important skill that leader must have is the uniting skills to reconcile people, because they know very well, irrespective of whoever wins, the rest will get some numbers. So Kennedy Japan will get some numbers, Dr. Bawumia will get some numbers, Brian, Kwabena Japan, and everybody will get some numbers. I'm not sure it's going to end in somebody getting 0. So they will still get some numbers, and irrespective of the number distribution, the leader, eventual leader, would have to demonstrate that scale of reconciliation and lead the process to bring everybody on board. It is necessary. Even if you get 95%, you must still have the leadership skills to bring on the 5% who didn't vote for you. And that is fundamental. Today, many have made reference to fundamental politics, and I think this is also fundamental politics. And so for me, I don't want to feel like we, the ones commenting on social media and elsewhere, know what is good for the NPP except the NPP itself. It's like everybody else knows what is good for NPP except NPP. They themselves don't know what is good for them except. So let's just guide it. My caution will be that because they would one day come back to seek to unite, they shouldn't use those smears and unprintable words and all those things that came up in the beginning. I think now, I don't know whether they've been saying it and social media doesn't report it, but now it's kind of toning down a little. If they speak and campaign and are mindful of the fact that we would one day want to come together, and so let's not smear one another, and they do that, I think it is fine. As for somebody getting more endorsement or support than the other, I think it is competitive, it's competition. And so we may want to perhaps be a little gentle with them, but speak against, like the regional chairman in Bono and Ashanti, those people on whose lap the party sits. Those ones, I think it is a red flag, and they have to stop. Already, they've led themselves through that already. But if there's an opportunity to reverse that, that is where I think the conversation should center on. As for after 31st January, United Party going to take over all the supporters of NPP. That is quite risky. Why do you bank your survival on the fall of one party? What if they don't fall? What if they end up matured enough to say, hey, irrespective of who won, let's come together and help him? Doesn't mean UP would not continue to exist or something. So my brother Ebo is my brother. That's why I want to make this comment. Last week I mentioned that hard work is the key, and not to wait for someone to fall so you benefit from that person's fall. So yeah, I think it's fair, the conversation, but I mean, I would want to grant the MPP the fact that perhaps they know what they are doing and they know the effect. And to the extent that leaders, persons on whose laps the party sit, constituency chairman, regional chairman, national executives, like not just the chairman, the leaders at the various ends of the structure are neutral and welcoming and receives all the aspirants and gives them equal access to the constituency and the delegates. For me, that is the state in which the party is, competition stage. They should just have to.
Yeah, I mean, but those positions you mentioned, some of them are not being neutral.
That's what I said.
And so that's why one would argue that the party, I mean, I've heard some who have said it's in disarray. I mean, you have some of these leaders, regional chairmen who are supposed to be neutral, endorsing publicly. And that is what is playing out in Parliament as well. You have significant number of MPs also doing same. Basically, everyone deciding that there is a competition to win, so we are all going out to compete. But even though a leader must fix their crack, it becomes tougher. Is it not much easier that those who are supposed to be responsible, the loud voices, reasonable voices, rather just keep their hands off and make it an easier process for the party?
Yes, so we have all agreed on this platform that as for leaders, it's unfortunate that as we speak, some leaders are already out there. And you can talk about the Ashanti Regional Chairman, the Bono Regional Chairman. Those are the two that dominate the conversation. It's unfortunate. I don't know how they are going to repair that. But you see, actions must be accounted for going into the future. So amongst the MPP delegates, I'm sure after this presidential race, there would be the constituency and the regional race and all those things. They would get an opportunity to clean the system and I mean substitutions where necessary and all those things, so that you get accounted, you get the opportunity to account for your actions and inactions. So that is how parties. You remember the Preventive Detention Act, the case that went into the Supreme Court around that time. The judges were clear that yes, as at that point, it was an act of law that was being perpetrated, and that citizens will have the opportunity to amend the law at the polls. So it's like, yes, if it is something that you have no control over now, when it gets to the opportunity to vote, you take advantage of that. If you don't like Nkrumah and his implementation of preventive detention, at the opportunity now, because as at that time it was an act, a properly enacted act. But when you get to the polls and you don't like it, you can do the change and all those things. So as for that part, we have all condemned it. But what the conversation we're having this morning is in respect of the members of Parliament, and I'm saying that it is distributed across all the aspirants, perhaps with the exception of Kwabena Japan. Only that some aspirants have more than others, and that doesn't form basis for the level of conversation we are having, especially making it look like everybody else knows what is good for MPP except the MPP people. Let's leave them to do it and then hope that they can come out victorious. Or maybe degenerate their party or something. Then we can discuss the outcome.
I guess every Ghanaian will be voting as well in the general elections because you keep referencing that everyone seems to know what is good for the MPP.
You also know that the one who is constructing the road doesn't know that it's crooked. So to say that everybody knows, so everybody knows and the MPP doesn't know, it's not the case. Because we are watching And we know what has befallen some political parties like CPP.
Yes.
We saw it.
Yes.
Didn't we warn Akufo-Addo, sir? And now where is it? So please.
Yes.
Yeah.
So because we are not coming to have this debate again. The two of you had this debate last week.
So Prof mentioned me.
Yes, no, but you had that debate here last week.
He mentioned to advise me, and so
I would want to say the same thing again. You said the same thing.
I would want to say something.
Okay, you go ahead.
Prof, I know you will not have a problem with what is happening in NPP because this one favors your candidate. I know that. But you see, but the point is that not every wound heals. There are some wounds that don't heal. And so when you are organizing yourself as a political party, you need to be careful. Because if you're at the regional level, some of the regional executives are tearing the party apart. And also at the constituency level, they are tearing the party apart. Then it behoves the MPs, who are now more or less the mouthpiece of the party in the country, to be very circumspect in the way they act. Because what your actions should unite the party. You see, organizing a press conference to make this known is different from an individual following someone. Okay. Because the impacts are not the same in terms of whether it's going to unite your party or divide your party. So, Prof, I know you won't have problem with that because of what I know.
I think that... Blay, let me react to that if you have...
Just a minute.
Yeah. So last week, my brother, Professor Pukwentri, made the comment to the effect that I am NPP. Today, Ebo Duncan is... my brother Ebo is making it look like I have a candidate and all those things. You see, if you have your views, don't impose it on me. If you feel I am Baumia delegate or whatever, you don't have to impose it on me because you will not know me better than I know myself. Wait for me to proclaim that I am this, I am that. Don't impose it on me. I just let it go because sometimes I grant people
Prof, we are in a marketplace of politics.
About me.
Prof, we are in a marketplace of politics.
That's fine. No, but you've had your time already. Yeah, Prof. You want to say something?
What I was saying is that sometimes even in leadership, everybody knows a good leader except the leader, him or herself. Because it's sometimes lonely at the top. And in most leadership cases, what comes to you, according to John Maxwell, is filtered. So you become lonely. But you talk about a skill that is important, the uniting skill. And I know that Nanado had 95% or so. And how many percentage did Alan have? You know, it wasn't much. What was the percentage that Alan had when he contested with Nanado? But that 5% or so, the one who had 95% still could not unite. And now we have a UP. So we are just guiding against future what will happen. Okay. I don't know about your political party. Last week I didn't talk about your political party. So leave me out of this. This is between you and Ebo.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Prof is my brother.
I'll give you the final word. Final word, Sina.
What is wrong if you tell people where you stand?
Yes.
So he says if he wants to project, he'll do that. If he's not,
he hasn't declared yet, so don't force anybody on him. That's what
if he feels he supports somebody, he should tell us, yes, I support this person. However,
no, but he says when he wants to project, he's going to
what
do
is
that.
he waiting for?
He doesn't want to project.
What is he waiting for?
Yeah, Prof.
No, Blay.
Yes, Prof.
Blay, sorry about the interjection.
Oh, no, it's fine. Don't worry.
One must not have a view on a matter only because he is under an umbrella or is beside an elephant. I am a professor of a university. Can't I have a view on a matter without aligning? Is it every Ghanaian that is NPP or NDC? And must views be necessarily coming from the umbrella or the elephant?
All right.
So let's not force ourselves into a certain box because every view must belong to an elephant or an umbrella. I don't really like that.
So I'm free.
I take comments, but
that's fine.
When it is not on the table, let's not discuss it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Prof. It's elephant, umbrella, or butterfly? Butterfly. Yeah, butterfly. Prof, you left out. You left out butterfly. Let's do some messages now. This one from Stephen Quinn from WA. You say that the MPs, they are just 87, and that the numbers those who are going to vote are more, and so you don't think it's an issue at all. Prince Nanayok, you say that the party is being divided outside Parliament, and now they have divided it in Parliament. That's also the message that you also brought. Musa Batwa in Asawasi, you say that my deepest condolences to the Rawlings family on the passing of former First Lady Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings. She was a trailblazer who dedicated her life to promoting women's empowerment and active participation in politics. There's a statement that has just come out from the presidency. I'll just take you through that quickly as we wrap up here. Announcement of 3 days of national mourning is signed by Felix Kwachio Fosu, MP, spokesperson to the President and Minister for Government Communications. And the statement indicates that following the passing of Her Excellency Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, former First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, President John Dramani Mahama has on behalf of the government declared 3 days of national mourning from today, Friday 24th October to Sunday 26th October 2025. During this period, all national flags shall fly at half-mast at all public buildings, diplomatic missions, and government installations throughout the country and abroad. This is in honor of a memory and in recognition of a distinguished service to our nation. Mrs. Agyeman-Rawlings has served Ghana with dedication and commitment, particularly in women's empowerment, child welfare, and social development. The government extends its deepest condolences to the family, her children, and all who mourn this irreplaceable loss. May her soul rest in peace. And that is the statement that is on the screen now, signed by the Minister for Government Communications. And that ends our discussion segment this morning. My guests have been Abraham Amaliba, legal practitioner, Director General, National Road Safety Authority. Kwame Jantua is also a legal practitioner, member of the Convention People's Party. Ebo Bachman is Deputy Communications Director for the United Party, the UP.
Special greetings to the people of Cape Coast.
But who's your boss?
Of Cape Coast. Solomon Owusu. And Professor Enoch Opoku Entry, Professor Governance and Policy Analyst. You see something on the table. Let me tell you about it. It's PEC. It's choco-filled cookies. You can up your day the Milky Way with a rich, smooth taste of PEC milk shortcake. It is pure delight. Yeah, I'm going to have this one right after. I'm keeping this one here.
Leave some for me. That's
why you have to come to Accra. I've been telling you to come to the studio. So, I mean, it's all about PEC.
Leave some.
If you didn't hear my rap line, let me take it again. Up your day the Milky Way with a rich, smooth taste of PEC milk shortcake. It is pure delight.
Baby cancel.
You're a rapper now. This segment, we take a quick break. We'll be right back with sports and more right here on Newday. Stay tuned in.